Hello and welcome to the Domestic Cricket Podcast, where we discuss the latest news, big stories, player movements, fixtures, results, classic matches, and of course interviews with domestic and international cricketers. So if you're a fan of the Sheffield Shield, One Day Cup, or a cricket fan in general, you'll love this podcast. I'm your co-host Caleb Bland, along with Sam Fitzgibbon. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hello and welcome back to the Domestic Cricket Podcast. Today we're joined by Tommy Flanagan, best known as Flanas and best known for his work with the Sportsbet Grubs, and also a mad Victoria Bushrangers supporter. Flanas, great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Caleb. It's great to be on the show. I've seen your work on the Facebook and the Instagram over the last little while, and it's all great stuff promoting the Australian domestic cricket scene. And we needed someone to be doing that, and you're filling that void. So that's unreal.
Thanks, mate. All right, let's start at the beginning. Where did your love for cricket start?
Okay, so Mum's family is from Howlong, which is a little country town on the border of New South Wales and Victoria. You probably wouldn't believe it, but I didn't love it straight away. So the first time I saw cricket was 1998 Boxing Day Test. 1998 Christmas Day, I got a PS1 and Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, which was the in-game at the time. I really wanted to play it, but up at Nan's place in Howlong, we only had one TV at her house. And my dad and my uncle, mad cricket fans, my uncle was a good bowler back in the day. They all wanted to watch the Ashes, obviously, as you do. So after sooking up and being a bit of a petulant little shit for a bit, I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch the cricket. I'll put the PlayStation aside. It was Matty Nicholson's debut, one and only test match. There's a niche player to watch for your first game of test cricket. And then there's a great game. We were cruising at 3 for 130. We're chasing 175 in the last innings. And then England took 7 for 32 with Dean Headley and Darren Gough bowling them to victory at the G. And from then I was just hooked and loved cricket ever since. Pretty much watched every home test match. And then when I was able to get Foxtel when I was a little bit older, I was able to watch the away series as well. And a few weeks after that Boxing Day Test, a good mate of mine, Ronnie from the Ashburton Willows, asked if I'd like to play Milo cricket. And I'm still playing down at that club there today. But yeah, being in that environment with my family who are huge cricket fans and they're all New South Wales natives, and me being the sole Victorian-born cricket fan in the family, was probably the start of that rivalry and my passion for Shield cricket and the Bushrangers.
Now, how did you, what was your pathway into sports media like? Because not only are you doing a fair bit for Sportsbet, you do a lot of things for the Kinne Tonight Show, which is on Channel 10, and a bit of commentary here and there and a few podcasts. So how did you get involved in sports media?
Yeah, with the footy commentary and the cricket commentary and all that sort of stuff. It was pretty unconventional the way I got into it. I never went to uni and did a broadcasting degree, never went to TAFE. Just after I finished school, I just went to my local pizza shop and was able to make pizzas there for a bit while I tried to work out what I was going to do next. And then got an opportunity to do volunteer footy commentary at the Northern Footy League every Saturday. And there I was able to work on my craft for a few years, become a bit more of a professional presenter and broadcaster and commentator. And then Hammy gave me a hookup to do some cricket commentary, test cricket, White Line Wireless. We did the Pakistan tour a couple of years ago where Khawaja and Payne batted out to save the draw. And then left the Northern Footy League at the start of 2019, got offered a paid media role at the mighty Caulfield Grammarians Footy Club. And now doing their commentary and their social media and do a roaming Brian takeoff, floating Flanas in the rooms on Instagram Live after the boys finish the games. And yeah, just a whole bunch of funny little segments for the club media, and really enjoying that now, getting a paid role in it.
So you mentioned Hemi got you involved in the cricket commentary for the away series. From there, how did you get involved with Sportsbet's productions? You've obviously done a fair bit for the Grubs, part of the East Garden Grubs, which is very well known throughout the Australian cricket community, and also you're doing plenty of the footy skits as well. How did you get involved before that?
So I got the start in acting back in 2008 from a really good mate of mine, Max Price, who you would have seen him around. He's on Kinne Tonight as well, and he's pretty prominent on social media productions as well. And yeah, I went to school with him. He used to head up the online productions at Sportsbet many years ago, and now he runs his own production company, Price's Productions, which we've been doing work for Nobby Underwear and Skills Certified, Dale the Driving Ranger on the for PGA Australia more recently, and the Kinne Show. He's the director of that, Max. So I owe a lot to Max for getting me into the acting space, and I'm pretty proud and blessed at Sportsbet to have retained me for so long. Hammy and Rambo and Chris Shardy, they're bloody brilliant. They're some of the best writers in Australian comedy, and Harley Hamer, the director, and Tommy Linford behind the lens. They're the best guys in the business at getting the best out of us and putting together high quality productions. And yeah, just great fun to work with, as are all the other grubs, Skip and Hummer and Slug, Adam Hetherington, AJ, Tommy Medalia, Tiny, Luke Doden. It's a lot of great blokes, and it's always fun on set, and yeah, feel pretty blessed to be a part of it. It's an awesome place to work.
So up until 2019, you were doing, as you said before, some commentary work for the Northern Football Netball League. What did that involve? How did you get involved with that, and what's it been? What was that experience like for you?
Okay, so I started calling footy when I was 13, called our under-14s grand final, and then I was like, I want to do more of this. Then when we're in year 12 at school, I called our first 18 at Caulfield. After we finished school, went to the old boys and commentated the old boys, the under-19s and the seniors at Caulfield. And then I just wanted a bit of a different commentary experience, because the commentary I'd done was all with, my junior team, all my mates, my school team, all my mates, my old boys footy club, all my mates. So going and throwing myself into the deep end where I didn't know any of the players, didn't know any of the clubs, any of the people, was a real opportunity to sort of build my craft and learn how to get better. And yeah, now I've done over 200 games and 30 senior grand finals, and try and take little bits out of Dennis Cometti and Clinton Gribus and Steve Quartermain, Rex Hunt, Bruce McAvaney. Those guys were guys that I tried to absorb a lot of style from. These days, really look up to Anthony Hudson. I reckon he does a great job as a play-by-play caller. And with cricket as well, growing up with Richie and Bill and Tony, that's unreal, being able to listen to those guys and sort of understand what a sports broadcasting craft is all about. Have just tried to absorb as much of them as I can. And then, the NFNL Northern League was awesome for my development as a broadcaster. Now at the fields, and hopefully call some more stuff in the future. I'd love to call the Vics in the Shield down at the Junction one day. So hopefully get a chance to do that at some stage.
Now, you've featured on the Kinne Tonight Show, which many Australians would know. It's on Channel 10. And obviously Troy Kinne is the head of the show. Hilarious comedian. I personally love him, as well as you mentioned Max Price, who you went to school with. Two very popular, funny men on YouTube. Many people my age as well as older would really love their stuff if they don't already. What was it like being on that show and being surrounded by such funny people? And what's the production like?
Yeah, it's really cool being part of that. Troy's a hilarious unit, as you said, and he's an absolute legend as well. He's really good at uniting the cast and getting us all on the same page and synergising us for what we have to do on set for any given day. And the rest of the cast is amazing as well. It's star-studded. It's Andy Lee and Sam Pang, Dave Thornton, Elliot Loney. They're all guys who've done a lot. Christy Whelan Brown's been very active on the telly. Ash Williams is on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here at the moment. Nina Oyama's a hilarious comedian. Ollie Clark's one of the best live entertainers you'll ever see. Sarah Bishop and Nick Minster are awesome actresses. They're all stars. So sometimes I'm just pinching myself to be part of it. Troy and Max have got me involved, and I love playing my role. But yeah, it's sometimes you got to pinch yourself. You're surrounded by some really awesome, high quality Australian talent, and yeah, to just be there and play your role is a lot of fun.
Now, obviously, you're a massive Victorian Bushrangers supporter, and when I mean massive, your phone wallpaper was Seb Gotch, the Bushies wicketkeeper. How many matches do you reckon you've attended over your lifespan? What was the first one, and what are some of your favourite moments for just being a Vic supporter?
Yeah, well, I'll answer the first bit first. Yes, Seb was my phone background, but he just made back-to-back tons to lift the Vics from last place to second place, and he's a good mate of mine. I love Seb, so I thought I'd get him on the wallpaper. But our first Vics game I ever played, first game I ever watched live. I wish I played. This is pretty niche. So I was 9 years old, and I went to watch Victoria versus Tasmania, and the game was played at Punt Road, of all places. I don't know if I've ever played a Shield game there since that day, but but anyway, they played there at Punt Road. So nice little niche venue to kickstart my Shield experience. I missed day one. Jason Arnberger and Matty Elliott piled on none for 353 on the first day, but I was there for day 2 and day 3 watching Paul Rifle, big pistol, take 8 wickets, and Tassie had to follow on, and the Vicks won easy. So great experience watching that. But how many Vic games would I have been to? I would have at least 80, 90, 100 days of Shield cricket in my life, just sitting there at the Junction or at the G or at Punt Road once. But yeah, I've just loved watching all those guys play. I love watching Johnny Moss and Matt Mott and Ian Harvey, Darren Berry, David Saker, Matty Innes, Mick Lewis, Stickers Harwood, Warney, Flemmo back in the day. And then it was Brad Hodge and Cam White, Dave Hussey, Ronnie McDonald, Johnny Hastings, Peter Siddle. And more recently, it's been Glenn Maxwell, Jimmy Pattinson, Johnny Holland, Aaron Finch. And yeah, watching all those guys over the years, they've given me a lot of joy. Sitting on the hill at the Junction or in the stands at the G. And yeah, still to this day, as a 31-year-old, get a lot of joy spending a day having a beer down at the Junction, watching the Bushies go about their work.
Now, you mentioned some of the great Bushrangers players. If you had to choose your favourite era, obviously starting with Flem and Warney, then moving to the mid-2000s with David Hussey and a few of those characters, and then the modern era with the likes of Seb Gotch, Nick Maddinson. Who would be your favourite team to watch?
That's a really hard question. So that first group, drew me in, brought me into Shield cricket. So it's hard to say that, and what an incredible bowling attack. Warne, Fleming, Colin Miller, Ian Harvey, a proper Victorian bowling attack to start things off with my Shield experience. But I really got attached to that middle group. Brad Hodge and Cam White and Dave Hussey, Johnny Hastings are some of my favourite players they've ever put on Victorian Guernsey. And I think as we were transitioning out of Victoria versus Tasmania or West Australia, domestic T20 into Big Bash, Victoria were really strong in that T20 comp. I really enjoyed them around that sort of time as well. Peter Siddle was just coming through. Ronnie McDonald and Cam White and Brad Hodge were on top of their game. Johnny Hastings was on fire. So that I really enjoyed that group. But I've spent a bit of time with the latest group, the Gotchies and the Johnny Hollands and the Pattinsons and the Glenn Maxwells and these sort of blokes and knowing them a little bit. They're great fellas and they're extremely skilled guys as well. It's so tough to split those three groups. I'll go with the middle group. I love Hodgie and Whitey and Haystow and Dave Hussey and yeah, I'll go with that group, but with a hell of a lot of respect to the new group and the old group as well.
Yeah, I'm not even a Victorian supporter, and I find it challenging to pick what team I'd rather watch. They've had some absolute greats of the game over the past few decades now, and shows in their successful campaigns recently, especially in the Sheffield Shield. Now, you obviously would have attended the 2018-19 Sheffield Shield final at the Junction Oval when Victoria beat New South Wales. What was the atmosphere like at that game? Because I remember watching on TV. It was the first game on Foxtel, a first Shield game on there for a while, and there was plenty of hecklers over the fence, and it looked like a really great atmosphere, especially when James Pattinson knocked over a few of the Blues in quick succession.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was there with three of Gotchi's good mates and we went to school and we were just hanging over the fence, carrying on pretty silly as those last few wickets are falling with Big Pato and Big Barrel and the trim train before he went back to New South. They were rolling through New South Wales and, yeah, we were just enjoying a few beers there at the City Power Centre and carrying on a little bit as those last few wickets happened. But, pretty special to be there and give Gotchi a high five at the end of the game and say well done. And Vic's winning the Shield's better than winning the Ashes, I reckon.
And I've noticed there you've got a cricket ball on the table next to you. What's the story behind that one?
Which one? The Stars ball? Go Stars?
No, the other one.
The other one, that's so my pride and joy from my playing career. Didn't have many great moments as a player, but that one was a good day. It was a day before my birthday, 23rd of the 11th, 2013, when I rolled through the Knox Churches, took 7 for 26. So never done anything like that before or since on a cricket field. So don't know why I brought it out today, just because we're talking about cricket. I thought I'd bring it out and show that I had a good day once. But yeah, that's about it from my cricket career. Never did much else other than that, but proud of that one.
Yeah, no. Great you brought on the show. Now, we've got some quick questions, mainly about cricket, actually all about cricket. So we'll start it off with, would you rather go to the MCG or the Junction Oval to watch the Mighty Vicks?
That's really hard because some of the great moments of my life have been at the MCG. I'm an MCC member. I spend a lot of time there, but the atmosphere sitting on the hill at the Junction, on the steps of the new City Power Centre, having a couple of mid-strengths and watching the Vicks go about their work in the Shield, that's probably my happy place and the place I love to go the most. So, yeah, no, Junction just pips the G, but they're my two favourite grounds in the world.
Now, would you support the idea of the One Day Cup hosting a match at GHMBA Stadium in Geelong?
Yeah, no, I reckon it's a great idea. And not just down there, I reckon there's more regional venues as well. Is it Mars Stadium in Ballarat? There's a good stadium up in Wangaratta. I think for domestic one-day cup games in particular, yeah, I reckon it's a great shout. We should have those regional venues used more, because you're going to get crowds from those communities coming out to get their chance to see some domestic cricket. And yeah, I think you'll get a good atmosphere at those grounds as well, as opposed to the big G 100,000 seat stadium where you've only got a handful of people in there watching. Yeah, those regional grounds could definitely be a go for one-day domestic. Now,
what's your favourite Bushies jersey? The one you're wearing, or the mid-2000s with the big white V, or the mod one, Jackson Coleman behind me? That's the modern design. What's your favourite Bushrangers jersey?
They're all lovely. I do love the big V, and I do love that one behind you as well. But I got to go with this, the old ING Cup with the proper Bushranger on the side. I was always a fan of this particular jersey, and I've been looking to buy it on eBay for, I don't know, a few years now, and then found it not long ago, popped up. Yep, I'm taking it. And as a bonus, it was signed by the 2003 Victorian one-day side. So, yeah, been looking for this particular jersey for a while, and yeah, it's my favourite. The mighty big bushy on the side, mate. They got to bring back the Bushrangers insignia somehow. I don't know if you can bring it back officially, but there's got to be some sort of Bushrangers nickname historical society or something opened up here in Melbourne.
Yeah, I support that idea. Now you've got to work with some brilliant people, some very famous names with Sportsbet. Who have you enjoyed working with most?
Oh, there's a few. We did Origin Air with all the NRL guys, Scotty Prince, Brett Finch, Willie Mason, Chris Walker. They were all hilarious guys to spend time with. Sam Thaiday, Ryan Girdler. Yeah, all those guys were a lot of fun on set. Then, yeah, Merv Hughes and Damien Fleming, they were pretty awesome to hang out with as well. Tommy Morris from Fox Sports is a good fella as well. He came down for a couple of shoots as well. All those guys have been great fun to work with, and they really got around us on set as well. Sometimes when you have someone who's a bit of a big name come in, you're not too sure how they're going to go about things, but all those guys have been wonderful fellas to work with, and kept in touch with a few of them since, and yeah, they're really good guys.
Now, what's your favourite moment watching Victoria in the Sheffield Shield?
Well, we touched on it before. The Vicks winning the Shield with Pattinson and Boland rolling through New South Wales on day 4. That was pretty cool, the 1920 Shield. Glenn Maxwell, after getting dropped from the Test team, comes out and makes 278 at North Sydney. That was one of the more enjoyable innings I've ever watched. A guy who's frustrated that he's not in the Test side, and he just comes out to North Sydney and just sends the New South Wales bowlers to all parts. That was pretty cool viewing. But probably the biggest favourite moment I've got wasn't actually, it was a Shield second 11 game. It wasn't actually a Shield game. It was Warnie's comeback from his shoulder injury at the Junction Oval. Set 2's game, as I said, and there were more people there at that game than I've ever seen in a Shield game. It's the 2's. Who rocks up to watch the 2's play? But everyone was there. Everyone just wanted to see how Warnie's rolling them down. And after there's limited security there. I don't even know if there's any security. And after the game, when the players all came off the field and went back to the rooms, there was just a massive mob outside the Victorian rooms waiting for Warnie to get an autograph, to get a photo or whatever. And probably needed security personnel because everyone was crowding around the doors pretty hectically as Warnie was coming out. But yeah, just an amazing memory to be down there for a second 11 game with a full house.
Now, what about your favourite Bushrangers moment in the One Day Cup competition?
Hammy's drop catch and then the redemption 1 year later. It's a pretty cool story. He spent a lot of time sitting on that hill over the journey. And I guess if you spend enough time there, you're going to get opportunities. The first one, he couldn't make it work. But, yeah, great to see him be able to pull it off the second time around. Actually, on-field moments. Aiden Blizzard hit a massive six at the Wacker, I remember, against WA. I think, I don't know if there's still a clip of it on YouTube, but I remember Sean Irvine was on the mic, former Zimbabwean player, and as the ball hits Blizzard's bat, it's just like, that's gone, that's out, that's never coming back. Like that's forever away. And you look at the footage, and it's just, I don't know how many meters it went, but the biggest six I've ever seen at the Wacker. Probably the biggest six ever hit at the Wacker. Gilly in the Test match against England, when he scored 100 off 60 odd, he put a few pretty deep. But I reckon Aiden Blizzard's six was the biggest Victorian six I've ever seen. So that was pretty cool. And also for a non-Victorian moment, just a niche One Day Cup moment. Andy Flower, just after boycotting Zimbabwean cricket, comes and plays for South Australia, and then wins 50k hitting the ING sign. Pretty strange, niche, cool moment. We don't have a lot of international players playing in the domestic one day or Shield comps these days, but back then it was commonplace, and you'd have a few internationals floating around. And yeah, it's just after all the turmoil that Andy Flower and Henry Alonga had been with boycotting Zimbabwean cricket, and then to come over here and just 50k straight off the bat hit the sign. I thought it was a pretty cool moment. Enjoyed it. Yeah,
well, I'd love to personally see some more international cricketers come and play in the Shield and One Day Cup competitions, especially Zimbabweans. I've been a massive Zimbabwe cricket supporter for ages and would have died to see Andy Flower live, or even Sean Irvine. But it'd be great to have, your Brendan Taylors or your Sean Williams come over, or anyone really. But yeah, it'd be great that'd probably get more crowds in, I reckon. And
I remember when Dwayne Bravo was playing for the Vicks, I had, I made an effort to get to games to see Dwayne Bravo playing for the Vicks, because I knew he wasn't going to be here for long. So when he was signed on for us, he's a worldwide star. I wanted to see how he went, batting alongside David Hussey and Cameron White, having a bowl in partnership with Pete Siddle or whatnot. So yeah, it's great when you get one or two international players floating through the domestic scene.
And the last quick question, your man Seb Gotch, do you rate him keeping in short sleeves or long sleeves? Because there's been plenty of controversy about a keeper in short sleeves. What's your opinion on it?
It has been. The keepers fraternity seem to have a little bit of umbrage with that. But I think if it's working for you and you're playing well, you keep it going. And since Seb's gone with the short sleeves style, he's been making hundreds in the Shield and he's catching well. And I think on field, unless his performance drops, keep it going because it's working for him.
And now you've obviously made quite a name for yourself doing some great commentary recreations. Before we let you go, do you reckon we could hear some?
All right. What do we got? All right, I'll do the Gatting ball, Richie. All right.
And he's done it. Started off with the most beautiful delivery, getting not sure what's happened to it. Absolutely befuddled.
So there's Richie. Then you got Tony, smashed that very hard. I listened to a lot of 12th Man as a kid, so I've sort of taken a bit of Billy Birmingham into my own life. And Bill, go on, got him, yes, give the ball to Johnny Holland, he's a Victorian. Brad Hodge, he's going to make 100. And then you've got Ian Chappell, yes, well, if the Australian side can make more runs than the Indian team, then they should go on to a win of this Test match. And then you've got your AFL guys. You've got your Dennis Cometti, centimetre perfect, like a cork out of the ocean. Peter Matera gives it to Phil Matera, round the corner from 55, and that's another one for the West Coast Eagles. And then you've got, oh boy, Brian Taylor. Wowee, how about that? I could probably do a better version of that. I need to really scuff up my voice for that. But and there's Brucey, who my good mate Elliot Loney does a good takeoff of, and mine's pretty much just a version of his. But what a great day it is here with the football and then with the horse racing, and don't we love watching Surioli go about it? Oh, Buddy Franklin, can't he just do anything from 85 metres out? What a player! He's very special. And then you've got your Jared Waitley, who comes on AFL 360 with your Mark Robinson. And I don't know, there's a few other guys that I guess I can do. But, yeah, there's a few commentator impersonations for you.
Yeah, they were fantastic. And you could make a full-time career, I reckon, out of those. They were just really accurate and hilarious. So thanks for sharing that. And thanks for being on the show. It's great to have such a personality in the cricket community, but also in the comedy community. Very famous around Australia now, Flanas, and obviously a massive Bushrangers supporter and supporter of the domestic cricket competitions here in Australia. We just had to have you on. So thanks for joining us on the Domestic Cricket Podcast.
Thanks, Carl. It's been an absolute pleasure, and keen to see what happens on the Domestic Cricket Podcast in future. It's onward and upward, I reckon.
Thanks, Flanas.